Welcome to the Your Limitless Leadership podcast with Jenny and Brent Widman. Here, we believe leadership isn't just about titles. It's about how you show up in every aspect of life. Whether you're leading a business, building a legacy as an entrepreneur, guiding your family, or striving to lead yourself first, this podcast is for you. Join us as we dive into real conversations about growth, decision-making, and the courage it takes to lead with purpose. Get ready to be inspired, challenged, and equipped to become the limitless leader you are meant to be. This is your Limitless Leadership podcast. Let's lead without limits.
Hello, welcome to your Limitless Leadership podcast. I am your co-host, Jenny Widman. Thank you for joining us today. We have a special treat today. We have a colleague of ours that works at Your Limitless Coach. She's a coach with us. She's one of my best friends. She was in my wedding. I was in her wedding. She actually just celebrated her 9-year anniversary just the other day with her husband, Manny. But Kristin Gonzalez is with us today. And one thing I just respect about Kristin more than anything is her resilience. Like, she is just somebody that overcomes any obstacle that comes her way. I met her, 16 years ago now, when we went door to door selling books in college. And she did that many summers. And then from there, she was a teacher at one point, and she's been in MLM, making it to the top ranks of her company, all while raising 2 kids. She has a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. And she is a lacrosse coach for a team in her community. She's just somebody that gets it all done and figures it out and helps people accomplish their goals while doing so. So I wanted Kristin to come on today and share her wisdom with us. So thank you, Kristin, for being here.
Thanks for asking me to be on. I was so excited when you sent me that message, and I absolutely had to say yes.
I love it. I love it. Well, give us your journey. Give us your Cliff Note story of how you got here today, and where life has taken you before this.
Yeah, I'll try to make it the Cliff Notes because it's a journey, all right. So Jenny and I, like she said, we met in college selling books door to door. So I'm going to start there because prior to that, I was a pretty shy person. I hated to even call and order pizza on the phone because I didn't want to talk to strangers. I was terrified of being even a server because I just felt like I'd probably mess up and then people would be mad at me. So like those people skills, I knew I needed them, but like I didn't really know how to get them. So when I heard about that internship where we sold books door to door, it was the scariest thought, but I knew I had to do it to get outside that comfort zone, to learn to talk to all different types of people. And I think that's where it started. I knew at that time, also, if we are talking about just self-worth, I worked at a theme park in Orlando, Florida, and I made $7.25 an hour. And I remember like I would come home for the summers and work that job. And my parents, when I told them about going to sell books, they're like, no, why don't you just like stay at your comfortable position? You know, you're going to get $7.25 an hour. It's an income. When you go sell books, that's an if come. We don't know if you're even going to make money. It's commission based, right? So that was another part, not just learning how to talk to people. I knew like I was worth more than the person, or not saying I'm worth more than other people. I'm saying I knew my value was worth more than $7.25 an hour.
Right.
And when I was working that job, I would stand next to the person next to me and they would work hard, but I knew I busted my butt way more than that. And so I'm like, okay, we're getting paid the same, but I'm working harder. And so I did that internship, and that's what totally shaped me for my future. There was a point where I hated sales though, and I was so over the sales part after knocking on doors for 4 years and selling educational books. I wanted to be a teacher. And I always wanted to be a teacher from being a little kid too. And so, I left the sales thing behind and I went to teach. And I will tell you that I lasted 2.5 years because I realized having a boss and being told what to do and having to get up early, there were just things that I didn't align with. And I remember having spring break off. And when I came back to teaching, I'm like, man, that's kind of what freedom is like. And
Oh my
that third year of teaching, I actually I started a side business because I was just broke and exhausted as a teacher. And so I knew I needed to do something on the side. And I started this online business with a health and wellness company, not expecting anything to happen from it. I just was like, I need to feel good and maybe I'll share it with a few people here and there. Well, it totally took off. And when I made in a month as a teacher, I was starting to make in a week in that job. And so I 10x the income. And when I realized, I just wasn't aligned with the teaching, at least at that moment, it was like, you know what? I can always go back and be a teacher. That's always going to be there. But a time in a company like that wasn't always going to be there. I saw the opportunity and I had to seize the moment. Right. And so I left teaching and went all in with the online space, network marketing, and it blew up. Um, I was able to earn a car bonus within just about 6 weeks of starting there. I had earned an all-inclusive trip within just a couple months, and I went on that trip, and that's where I really caught the vision. I was like, "There's something to this, and I have to help people to see the vision in this too." And so, going all in, I'll just summarize. I was able to help 125 people earn their car bonuses as well. I
God.
had 80,000 customers under me and over 9,000 promoters. We had hit the top rank in the company within eight months of starting. And I had multiple other people under me who had earned the top rank as well. Um, Made $1 million in the company and tons of skills. And so, as a part of that journey too, I loved it. It was great. I had tons of accomplishments, but I felt like, okay, I did it once, but can I do it again? So I had this crazy thought of like, let's see if we could do this one more time. And so I heard of a company starting and launching. And so I left all that behind in that first company where I built everything. And I'm like, let's do this. Let's see if we can do this again. So I started from zero and really didn't take, much of my team because I didn't want to be the person that just moved the teams. I actually wanted to build it. And so we built again and built back up to pretty much the same rank monthly as that first company. And it was going great. And then things shifted and changed in that company. And so here I am on my third one for my third build, starting from zero. But really, it's just like having that confidence within myself, knowing I can do this and not being afraid to start over if it's the time to start over. Also within that time, I had started my own brand, Brugy Coffee and Refreshers, and it is a food truck, and we're a nutritional truck. We can say I like to serve nutritional beverages on there and just allow people to have healthier options for pick me ups and feeling good and taking care of their body. And so I started Brugy, and we traveled all over in that food truck, all over town, and just created a name for ourselves with that too. So that's not really the Cliff Note version, but that is kind of where I am at this point in life.
Well, there's so many people out there that can relate to what you said about even from the very beginning of I'm scared to even talk to somebody on the phone to order pizza. So I'm going to go and do this internship where I have to go knock on doors. And then, going to $1 million company, getting to $1 million, and then just being like, I want to see if I can do it again. The courage that it took for both of those situations. How did you get that courage? Like, where does that come from in terms of helping someone else jump and take that leap of faith? Where did that courage from you come from?
To be honest, I think it was about I don't know, this sounds crazy, but like proving other people wrong.
Mm.
Like, I was bullied in high school too. I know we have that term all over. But from that bullying, I was like, I have to get out of this town and I have to go do something with my life. And that's why I went to college, the first in my family to go to college, because I'm like, you know what? I don't know. It's like, I kind of had a point to prove. And so then I went to college. When I was going to do the door to door sales, I
Mhm.
guess probably just proving I love you parents, proving my parents wrong a little bit too. We're like, oh, well, we don't know how you're going to do. And it's an if come, right? I'm like, no, like I can't do this. And so it was kind of proving them wrong. When I was, in the books and, or somewhere, someone along the lines told me, oh, network marketing, you're never going to make money in network marketing. Whoever makes more than what they spend. I'm like, okay, you don't think I can do it? Watch me. I'm going to go make money in network marketing. I've heard people say, oh, Kristin, oh, she's going to be a millionaire from that online sales thing. Yeah, I am. Watch me. I will. Oh, it's a startup company. Like, I don't know how they do. And I'm like, well, or they're like, oh, people weren't ever successful outside of this company. Okay, maybe to you they weren't successful, but like they're not me. I am me. Like I will make sure that I am successful. So I feel like some of those little things that I heard along the way, instead of letting them beat me down and hold me back, I use them as fuel
They
to flame the
propelled
fire and
you. Mhm.
just go for it.
I love that. They just simply propelled you to actually not hear them, not listen to them. So I love that. Okay, talk to me about what leadership means to you. I know that you've had lots of different leaders in your life and you've become an amazing leader. But what does leadership really mean to you personally?
Yeah, I've had great examples of good leadership, people who walk the walk. They don't just talk the talk. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, I've had great examples of poor leadership and what I don't want to become, or things that I saw that I'm like, I'm not for this. And that is why I made some changes and I moved to different companies, because I just couldn't stand behind some of that leadership. It just didn't align with who I wanted to be as a leader and what I saw good role models portray to me. So leadership to me is definitely having that courage, like starting with the courage, like having the courage to either stand up when you know you need to, or to make a change when you know you need to, or to like, um, if you don't agree with something, making sure that the right thing is done. So with the courage, also then comes the integrity. Like I feel like leadership has to have good integrity. I have seen people with good integrity lead companies to heights unimaginable, billion-dollar companies, right? And then I've seen leaders that lack that integrity, and it's very selfish and it's very greedy, and they'll do anything they need to do or say anything they need to say just to make a dime or get ahead. And so like having the courage, having the integrity, um, and just really leading with a full heart, like caring about other people. When you care about other people, they'll feel that. They'll know that. They know they're not just a dollar sign. They're not just a paycheck, especially in the industry that I'm in. But if you have clients, your clients want to feel special. They don't want to just feel like they're giving you money and then, and maybe you're not a steward of your money properly, or I don't know. I've seen where like people are just flashy, showy, and I've honestly been that person at one point too, until I realized, man, like that's not what this is about. This is about helping other people. For me, it's helping them with their health and wellness, and financially, being stable and creating a financial legacy for their family. But if you are only treating people like they are a paycheck, they'll see that and the opposite's going to happen. Your business is going to crumble. The dark will come to light and it will be exposed. But if you are doing the right thing, you're leading with like just having pure joy and love and passion and compassion, people will see that too. And more are going to want to be a part of what you have going on.
Right. So that brings me to like, who influenced you the most and how in leadership? Like what's an example, whether it's good or bad, that you can share, and how they influenced you?
I gotta not like think about the bad right now because I'm just in the thick of it at the moment. But no, I've definitely had some great leaders that like you can tell that they are just in it to help other people. Like, you know, I- I've had leaders that have flown. I'm like, do I say names? Like, I can share names, right? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I know, like a great friend of mine, Heather, she just had such a pure heart for people. She would travel wherever she needed to. She didn't care, the financial burden or the financial cost of it or the time or, and she had 3 kids under the age of 3. And like, yeah, long story. But like, she still would make time to invest in other people.
Hmm.
Um, and so just watching that and watching her business grow was like, okay, that's the leader I want to be. I want to send gifts and reminders that like, hey, I care about you, or a little text to know that you're thinking about them, or like a birthday card on their birthday, not just as a business follow-up, but like genuinely that came from your heart.
Hmm.
Um, and then I've had really negative leadership where if the second you don't agree with them, they'll block you, or they're talking behind you behind your back and you find out and you're like, man, I didn't know that was happening. I've seen just poor leadership where people are only in your inbox when they have a down month or they need their numbers up. And yeah, it just really sucks to feel like they're only there when it's benefiting them.
Right. It's it's that selfless before the selfish aspect, and the more that you can help other people, the more you help yourself. So it's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
it's just
I know you've had lots of different leadership styles.
it's definitely putting people over profits and
Hmm.
not just saying it, but like really showing it. And it doesn't cost a lot of money to show people that you care. Like
Hmm.
it can be a simple phone call, it can be a simple text, it could be a surprise visit, it could be it doesn't even have to be monetary gifts. I mean, depending on their love language, maybe, their love language is gifts and you just send them a little bracelet, I don't know, something to just be like, hey, I care about you as a friend and we are friends first over business.
Oh, that reminded me, one of my clients the other day, he was venting about his leader, and he was saying like, you don't love me, you love my revenue. And it just, that hit hard, because it's like, when you don't have good leaders, they feel that way. People feel that way. And
Mhm.
that's not what you want to example. That's not the example you want to have, be. So okay, so what's one thing you believed about leadership early on that you no longer believe now?
Oh my gosh. One thing I believed about leadership, I believe that everyone was good. Was a good person. And I guess maybe that's just the naive, like, positivity in me. Like, I'm a very the glass is half full person. Like, I will always look for the positives and no matter what the situation is. And I guess I still believe they're good. What's that? The verse is forgive them for they know not what they do. And maybe they just like in that time, in that moment, don't really realize until they come to the light and they see, man, that wasn't the best choice, or I didn't say the nicest things. And I've had so many people actually within like just the last year or so come to me and apologize for saying things about me or believing lies about me, and realizing like, okay, like you actually did have our best interest at heart, but I was deceived by this other person who had influence in the company, and apologize, which means the world to me. So, and even the person or the people, maybe I feel like they aren't good people right now. They have the potential to be good people. If we just show them, you know, we help them come to Jesus, in my opinion. It's just like help them see like what it is to be a good person. And I can't just tell them that, I have to show. So I have to continue to be the good person so
Mm,
that way they have a model of what it is like, regardless of what's happened to me, regardless of all the negative that's been thrown. Still being that light will help bring those people to the light as well.
mhm. Is there a lesson you learned the hard way? Like, is there something specific that's coming to mind? I feel like that touches.
Yeah. If I have any ideas, I probably should really keep them to myself until they come to just come to fruition from me. I get excited about things and I manifest and I want to tell the whole world so it comes true. And I'm like, if I talk about it, it will happen. And yeah, it will, but sometimes it won't happen for me because people have totally stolen multiple ideas that I have. A quick example is in our area, back in 2021, my husband and I looked at starting a food truck park. And I'm like, we're going to get a food truck park. And I went like business to find land. And, I found 13 acres commercial and we put an offer, we purchased, but it took 2.5 years to close on it because of plotting and COVID and all this stuff. And so in the meantime, I'm like, oh, we're going to build this food truck park. And I'm like telling my neighbors, I'm telling all these people, I'm like, get excited, it's happening. And lo and behold, like literally a few months later, I'm driving down the road and I see this spot being developed, and I stopped and I talked to the project manager, and he's like, "Oh, we're putting a food truck park here." I'm like, "Oh, are you?" And someone literally 5 miles down the road purchased land and started a food truck park because they knew that's what people wanted and in the area, and started it. That's one example.
Oh,
Another example is when I started my coffee trailer, my nutrition truck. I, had this idea. I'm like, oh, we're brewing coffee. Let's call it bougie because we're a little bougie. We make it fun with glitter and pizzazz, right? I love it. And then at the food truck park, I'd have a bar. My dad brews beer, and so we're like, bougie. We're gonna name it bougie, and like got my LLC. I put it all over my trailer, got my permits, all my things, branding, came up with my logo, came up with my menu, all the stuff. And the company that I was previously in, when I walked away, they took the name Brugie and they came out with a product line and named it Brugie, and then went and trademarked it before I could to get the trademarking on it. I'm in the works of developing a podcast with a title, and I've already seen other people start to use similar titles in their social media content. And I'm just like, man, I guess I really have great ideas because what is it? Mimicking is the best form of flattery or something. I don't know the term, but I'm like, so if you have ideas, like maybe hold them to yourself, really get it going, trademark it. And yeah, I don't know what else.
and take action. That's what we're working on. We're
Taking action.
taking action on doing these ideas that you have and branding yourself and all the things.
Yes. So I've learned though to like, I'm so excited about it, but hold the excitement for
Yeah,
just a minute till I get it all situated.
love it. Yes, you've learned the hard way. Okay, one thing I want to get into, because you're not only a leader with your team and with your clients and everything, you're a leader on the lacrosse field. You're a leader at home with your 2 kids. You're a leader with your husband as well, co-leadership. So I do want to ask, just how do you prioritize your time, your energy, like daily habits? Like, how do you do it all in the day?
Yeah, that's always the question, right? People are like, how do you do everything you do? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just really self-motivated, I guess. But there's times where I'm just like, okay, I need to relax. And I've learned to only say yes to what really brings me happiness and excitement. I used to be such a yes person where I'm like, yes, I'll help you. Yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do this. And then I get to burnout because I'm like, I don't have time for me. I don't have time to just take a break. I don't have time to like, I would say yes to so many things. And I realized my family got the back burner of it. And so it might be selfish, but it's okay. Like I've learned like this life is so short. And if I'm over here pleasing everybody else, I'm going to get to the end of my life and be like, what did I do for me? Like, and it's okay to have those moments of selfishness if you are helping other people as well. But like, don't overextend yourself where like you're not even having the joy of life, because that's where, you can start to see that sadness and worrying and like depression can sneak in, or anxiety can happen because you're just like, I've said yes to all these things, but how am I going to get it all done? And so, number one, first and foremost, is my family. Like they come first. I've had so many times in business where I would be like, oh, just leave me alone. Oh, I have to do this call during dinner, or, I have to travel here and I've missed like games on the weekends, or just even family trips. I look back to some of the times on our family trips and I'm on my phone the whole time, or like even on Thanksgiving or Christmas. And I'm like, I got to tell everybody about this promo going on. And it's like, what? No, the promo can wait. There'll be another promotion. Like you are making memories with your family. So that is first and foremost to me. So what can I do with my family that also could help, my business, or incorporate the other things that are important to me? And so like right now, my kids will be kindergarten next year in second grade. And so I did take on the role of PTA VP of fundraising. So
Of course you
basically
did.
the vice president of PTA. Yes, here we go. But you know what? I did it in a way so I'm helping the school, but I'm being involved in their life. I get to be on campus with them. I get to like do those events that they'll earn when they do the fundraising, when they have the pajama party, or they have like splash day, or they, all the events that I'll be helping raise money for the school, but I'll be so present in their life too. So I can mingle the two together. Um, I am the lacrosse coach for our entire county for elementary and middle school. So there's like 15 elementary schools and I think 5 middle schools that can feed into that. And I used to play, and I've always wanted to coach the sport and help grow it in our area. But while I'm coaching, my kids got to stick too, and they're playing lacrosse while I'm coaching the girls team. And they're out, they're not on an iPad. They're out running around too. They're learning the sport as well. And it's a family affair. On the Sundays when we have games, like my kids are seeing what it is to coach and this is all volunteering. So is PTA. Zero money compensation. And they're seeing what it is to volunteer time, what it is to help other people. And and how hard it can be, like in the heat of the day, setting up tents and making sure there's waters and all the things we need to do. And I don't know, I just feel there's life skills that they're learning with that. But then thank God, like my business is very flexible and I can do it when I need to, but also incorporating my family into business as well. Like right now I'm on this, but they get to have fun with a babysitter that's here and they love it. But then after this, I know mommy's working, but after this, we'll go have a good time, right? Or our vision boards that we do together. So right now they know a Disney cruise is on the line. So mommy's got to do some work here and there if they want to go on the Disney cruise, right? Like, and so yeah, like there's a lot of things, and keeping my health a priority too. Making sure that I am getting physical activity. I am drinking my water. I am taking care of my body, getting enough sleep. And some people like to do it first thing in the morning and get it over with and get moving. That's great. However you can do it. Time management is a huge topic. And once you learn like some time blocking and you're like, okay, this is what we're doing. Family time is priority. Put that in. When do we have soccer? When do we have t-ball? Make sure that's in there. Now what's the next priority? Okay, I'm coaching. When is coaching going in there? Okay, coaching lacrosse, right? Now I have coaching clients. When are those calls? Now I have my Bravenly team. When are those events? And just working around that. And you'll find that you still have white space. Like there still is time for you if you need to just go get your nails done or if you need to get a little massage. Like there's still time. What happens is we get sucked into this and we scroll or we like get into the drama or we turn the TV on for half a second and like we're sucked into a series, which yeah, that's okay as well too. But did you get done what you needed to do first before we get stuck in the scroll or the TV series? And so, being so intentional, we hear this all the time, and it is a hard concept, especially for me with someone with ADHD. But like, being so intentional, like this is the time that I have. I've got to get XYZ done so that way I can go play and have fun, or I can go make those memories with my kids too. And so, if you ever need help with that, here we are.
That's what we're for.
Shameless plug.
Yes. No, this is so good. I actually want you to keep on this topic because it's so good. What's like a morning routine and an evening routine that you have found works for you? Because I love to hear just how people kind of set up their routines, at least for when they first wake up and when they go to bed.
I will be the first to admit I am not the perfect person with routines. Like some people are very diligent with that, and I love them and I respect him. My husband, routine kind of guy. And he's just like that, Mine, for the most part, is the routine. During the school day is we're up at 5:45. We're getting kids ready for school, putting lunches together, eating breakfast, changing, getting ready, whatever. And we have to be out the door at 6:45 a.m. Well, my husband takes them because we actually are about 40 minutes away from their school. So it's a distance. Yes. So he does morning duty and I do afternoon duty. And so from then I will I always have to have my coffee. I drink my mushroom coffee. It gets me going for the day. Like it wakes me up. And that's a time where I can have a minute and I honestly will sit down and I do my I am statements and I do my 3 I ams and my 3 gratefuls. You can do more than that, but we do a Zoom with our team Monday, Wednesday, Fridays with our I am statements. And if we don't have the Zoom, we are in our chat and we're sharing our I am statements. And so that is the first, how I intentionally want to set myself up for the day, with gratitude and really what am I focused on? What am I accomplishing? And what are my goals for either the day or the month, And so the IAMs are important. And if I don't have an afternoon workout, because I work out Monday, Wednesday, Fridays also in the afternoon when I pick up the kids, because it's a trainer by their school, I'm doing a workout in the morning just to get moving, get my body moving. And then to be honest, throughout the day, it kind of varies. I'm either on a power hour Zoom or I'm checking up with my team or I'm doing some follow-ups or I might be sending out packages if I, have people with samples or something. And that's when I get my income producing activities done. And most of the time I can get them done within an hour or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm really focused and intentional, I get done my what's on my checklist sheet. Okay, these are my income producing activities I'm doing for the day. I'm getting them done. And then I go to my checklist of what I have to do for the day for business, right? It could get done probably in just a couple hours or so.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm like, okay, personally, what do I need to get done? Do I have to file my taxes? Do I have to clean the house? Do I have to whatever? And then usually by that time it's 2 or 2:30 and then I got to go do kid duty, pick them up from school, or I have my workout at 1:30 before I pick them up. I pick up my kids and we either have soccer practice or lacrosse practice. That's usually 3 times a week. Or we come home and I bake dinner and then spend some time with the kids. We do homework or reading and then it's bedtime routine. They take a bath, brush their teeth, put PJs on. We say our prayers. We go to bed. After that, me and Manny have an hour or 2 to have couple time because it's important for us to talk, or we're actually doing a home edition right now. So we're adding on to the house. And so usually our conversations are like, what tile do you want for the bathroom? What paint color are we putting on the walls? So that's been our topic of discussion for months at this point. Or, at that point, if I know I got done what I needed to for the day, okay, cool. I can watch an episode of You or whatever I want to watch, And so that's kind of my day. Doesn't seem stressful, right?
Well, I love how you said I don't really have routine, and then you have this perfect routine from 5:45 to I am statements. I'm like, this is great. But I love the I am and the gratitude statements. Okay, so with all that, you've mentioned about burnout before and things like that. So what do you do if you are feeling that sense of burnout coming, or if you're feeling uninspired because what are things that you do to get out of it or get out of the funk?
I like to shop. I go shopping. You don't want to see the closet on the other side of this camera because you'll know I have a shopping problem. That's my therapy.
Okay.
What do they say? Shopping is cheaper than therapy? I don't know. No, there's definitely moments where especially having to start over, like starting over 3 times. There's been burnout moments where I'm like, okay, I'm starting to realize I'm on way too many Zooms. Like there's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday Zoom. I gotta take it back because I can start to see it affect my family as well. Like, hey, like we haven't had dinner with you for 3 days. And so I have to reevaluate of, okay, what are the most important Zooms that I need to be on? Like if I can plan for the following week or what's happening, I'm like, okay, these I really need to be on. These I have to invite people to. This one I can probably miss. This is redundant. This is, whatever. So I try to just take a step back and see. It goes back to saying no, right? It goes back to what have I maybe accidentally said yes to too many things at this point? Like what can I say no to? And then starting to I don't know, if I feel overwhelmed, I'm a get it on the paper kind of person. Cause there are seasons where it's like, oh my gosh, I have to do taxes and it's end of the year and we have this party and now we have to do this and this, right? Like that was a lot at this end of the year. There was a lot at one time and I'm starting to feel that burnout and starting to have a breakdown. So I'm like, get everything on the paper, just from the head to the paper. And I list it all out and I'm like, what else do I need to do? List it out. What else do I need to do? List it out. Even if it's I need to just do the laundry or the dishes or anything that's in your mind that you need to do, that you feel like you need to do. I love to put it on the paper. And then from there, I'm like, okay, from this, what can I delegate out? Like, what can I have someone else help me do? One of the things on there was a family vacation in the summer. My mom loves to look at that stuff and research it. And my mom is retired. So I'm going to give her something to do. Mom, can you please research what are great beaches in Florida that we haven't been to that we can go to? Where in New York can we stay? What hotel? I'm going to let my mom have a great time with that. And she's going to have fun doing it. What else can I delegate out? Maybe laundry. I know this sounds so bougie and high maintenance, but my friend's mom, she needs something to do. So I'm like, hey, can I pay you to come fold laundry for me? Yeah, she wants to come do it. Okay, great. Having a house cleaner, that's an investment. And I believe in it 100% because every 2 weeks she comes to clean the house. I can delegate that out. There's tidying, yes. But for the cleaning part, I'm delegating it. And then from there, what's something that only I can do that are my skills? And then from there, what's urgent within that? And I'd start labeling number 1, number 2, number 3. This is urgent that I have to do and get done right now. My taxes right now. And it's me. I have to do that unless you have a system. But, that's a whole nother topic. But, it's just from that list. And then I start to feel like, okay, I can do this. And it's what, eat that frog, you just get it done. The taxes, I don't want to do them, but I got to do them. And I got them done within a couple hours. I'm like, the weight lifted off the shoulder just in that alone is okay, I feel so much better. I can accomplish the next thing. What's next on the list? And so it boils down to analysis paralysis. If you feel like you have way too much going on, you don't even know where to start, that you do nothing. I've been there so many times that it's okay, I just have to organize what's happening in the brain, and I put it on the paper, and I just have to manipulate all that's going on and get done the first important thing, the next important thing, and so forth.
That was money. And I hope whoever is listening to this right now is taking notes, because what you just did there was delegation at its finest, automation at its finest, like just figuring out what's important that you have to do yourself, what you can eliminate from your plate. And sometimes we just put too much on ourselves for no reason. It's like we think we have to do it all and we don't. We can get help. And
I
it's
think Nanny just told me it's the 3 Ds. Do, delegate, and dump.
oh, there you
What
go.
do you need to do? What can you delegate, and what can you dump off the list? Like, is that really important? Do we really need to go pull the weeds? No, that can wait, right?
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. What can we dump? Oh, Manny. Oh, okay. So, last question, I think. But one thing I want to know is, if you could only leave one piece of leadership advice behind, what would it be? What is the one piece of leadership advice you'd want to share to the world?
I mean, really just be a good human. Like, if you lead with heart and you're just a good person and you do what's right, like that's the leadership we need in this whole world. Like, I feel like so many times we get caught up in the wrong things. Like in my industry, it's more of like who's going where and who's doing what and how much money are we making and how can I benefit off of like all these other people. And we forgot like what is important is like, let's just be good people. Let's treat other people right. And people are going to want to follow you if you're doing the right thing.
Hmm.
And if you have them in the forefront, like if you put, I don't know, like I said, there are times to be selfish, but like when you're showing you really care about other people and you're helping other people, everyone's going to want to follow someone that knows that they are cared about. And
Hmm.
so, and a lot has changed in my life to get to that point. I just want to look back, if I'm like on my deathbed and I'm like, what did I leave behind? Or what, how are people going to remember me? If I'm writing my own obituary, how are people going to remember me? I really just want them to say she was a good person. Like she treated other people the way she wanted to be treated, right? The golden rule, treat people the way you want to be treated. And I don't know, who would ever want to quit working for you if you're just a good person, if you treat them right? Like, why would they have a reason to really go work anywhere else? I mean, maybe they need to make more money. But if you're treating them right, and even money wise, you can throw a bonus at them or something to show them like, hey, I want to help you out. Um, I don't know. You just treat people correctly, they're gonna want to stay with you and they're gonna want to follow you if you decide to go anywhere else.
Hmm. It's like genuinely caring about them as a person and not a number. And there's been so many times where I have felt like just a number and people feel like numbers. And it's like, how can you be different as a leader and get into their personal life and get into what they want to let you in? Like, they have to be vulnerable and things too, but like the more vulnerable you are as a leader, the more vulnerable they will be as a downline. So
Yeah, that transparency is really important because then if you're open with them, they can be open with you, and you have like that loyalty and you have like that friendship and that partnership of like, okay, I trust them. They're not going to turn their back on me. They're not going to use it against me. They're not going to gaslight me. Like, this
mm,
is somebody that like I can open up to. And when you open up and you start having that um communication and that collaboration, um I don't know, you watch your business explode. And so it's just, I don't know, I feel like it starts with being a good person, which people then trust you. They can open up to you. You can be vulnerable with each other. You can communicate more, and you can create amazing things.
yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, last thing here, Kristen, like how can whoever's listening to this, us, Brent and I, how can we help you? Like what would be your ask of how we can help you do more, be better?
I don't know. I just have this idea and this vision of like how we're just gonna create amazing things together, how we're going to be able to like use our voices to share with the world, like just how people can live the life they deserve and the life they want to have. We have the skill set, we have the knowledge, and I guess you can help me by just like this, just give me the platform to be able to speak what I've been taught, those success principles that can help other people, relating to them about being through just some crap in life, working through the stuck, working through the mud. Like I just want to be able to help people from what I have experienced and how I've gotten through it in case if they're in a moment like that as well. But I love what you guys are doing, and with the podcast, with coaching, with all of our future plans. I won't tell them all because, sometimes it's a great secret to keep.
They're coming.
But be on the lookout for all the exciting things that are up ahead. And so, yeah.
Oh, I love that. I know we're heading down to Texas here in 3 weeks and spending the weekend with you and Manny. We can't wait. And just the brainstorming that we can have, the vision casting and planning. I'm just super excited about it. So thank you so much for your time, for being on here. And you are a great human. You can just sense it from you're so genuine. You're so selfless. And you've been very kind today. You've been through a lot of stuff in the past, and I'm surprised you didn't dig into it more. Maybe that can be a future podcast, but yeah, that can wait. But thank you so much, and we appreciate you. But thanks for listening. This is your Limitless Leadership podcast, and catch you next time.
Thanks for joining us on the Your Limitless Leadership podcast with Jenny and Brent Widman. We hope today's conversation inspired you to think differently about leadership, not just in your career, but in every part of your life. Remember, leadership starts with leading yourself first. It's about taking action, making bold decisions, and showing up with purpose. Now, it's time to take what you've heard today and put it into practice. Whether it's in your business, your community, your family, or your own personal growth, start leading without limits. You have the power to become the leader you're meant to be. Until next time, keep pushing your boundaries and leading with purpose.